Bolt a header onto your RSX Type S without a tune and you're not making power. You're throwing a check engine light, killing low-end torque, and slowly cooking your oxygen sensors. The K20 is one of the most documented four-cylinders ever built, and 20 years of dyno sheets all point to the same brutal truth. Mod order on this car matters more than the parts themselves. Let's set the table. The RSX Type S runs the K20A2 in 2002 through 2004 cars and the K20Z1 in 2005 and 2006. 200 horsepower, 142 pound-feet at the crank, 11:1 compression, and that gorgeous 6-speed close ratio box. But here's the ceiling nobody wants to hear. Naturally aspirated, you're capping out around 210 to 225 wheel horsepower on a built motor. A stock bottom end with bolt-ons and a quality tune? 185 to 195 horsepower. That number shapes every dollar you spend. Number 1 mod, and it's not close, the Hondata FlashPro. $695 to $750 for the unit, plus $150 to $300 for a professional calibration. It plugs into your OBD2 port and reflashes the factory ECU completely. Fuel maps, ignition timing, VTEC engagement, rev limiter, all of it. On a stock car running 91 octane, you'll see 8 to 12 wheel horsepower and dramatically sharper throttle response. But the real magic is that the FlashPro is the safety net for every other mod on this list. Intake, header, exhaust, none of those gains are complete or safe without it. And one warning that belongs in flashing red letters. The FlashPro is a tool, not a solution. A bad tune on this high-compression K20 causes detonation and destroyed pistons. Do not take a remote tune from some unverified vendor on a forum. Find a tuner with documented K20 experience and dyno verification. The Z1 cars also respond differently than the A2 because of revised cam timing and compression, so a tuner who's actually mapped these specific engines is worth paying for. Tied for the best modification you can make is Coilovers, and this one's reversible, which matters because clean DC5s are trading between 12 and 18 grand now. The factory suspension is soft and comfort biased. Drop the car an inch to an inch and a half and the whole thing changes. My value pick for track use is the Fortune Auto 500 series at around $1,600. Monotube, 16-way damping, built to your spring rate. For dual purpose, run 8K front, 6K rear. Budget? BC Racing BR at $800, but quality control is hit or miss. Want street ride quality? KW Variant 3 at $2,100 is the daily driver king. Get the coilovers installed and you absolutely need an alignment. Budget another $150 to $200 for camber plates from Ingalls or Skunk 2 to hit negative camber targets, somewhere between -1.5 and -2.5 degrees up front for track use. Skip the alignment, and you'll shred a set of tires in a few thousand miles. That's not a maybe, that's physics. Third S-tier pick surprises people, the intake manifold. The Skunk 2 Pro series is about $350, the Ultra series about $550, and on a tuned car the Ultra adds 8 to 12 wheel horsepower above 6,500 RPM. But here's the catch that nobody mentions at the parts counter. The Ultra series trades low-end torque for top-end. You lose 5 to 8 pound-feet below 4,000 RPM. On a daily, that's genuinely annoying in traffic. So Pro Series for street cars, Ultra Series only for dedicated track and time attack builds. Now A-tier, the strong upgrades with strings attached. Intake first, the AEM Cold Air at around 260 is the most documented for the DC5, and tuned it's worth 5 to 8 horsepower. Untuned, 2 to 4 horsepower, and a risk of lean conditions at high RPM. Most owners will tell you it sounds way better than it performs. The short ram is easier to install and won't hydrolock in standing water, but warmer intake air means less power. Either way, this is a tune-first mod or it's just noise. The header is one of the best bolt-on power adders on the K20, but only with a tune. A 4-2-1 design with equal-length primaries fixes that restrictive cast factory manifold. The DC Sports 4-2-1 at $300 gets you 6 to 9 horsepower tuned. The Skunk 2 Alpha series at 450 to 550 is the leader, 10 to 14 horsepower on a tuned A2. Untuned, you'll trigger a P0420, lose low-end torque, and gain almost nothing. Most aftermarket headers also delete the pre-cat, so you'll need a high-flow cat or an O2 simulator depending on your state's emissions rules. Here's the most underrated $20 you'll ever spend: brake fluid. Factory DOT3 boils at around 401 degrees. Model RBF 600 boils at 593 dry. That single swap virtually eliminates brake fade on a track day. Pair it with Hawk horsepower pads for street or horsepower plus for track, around 80 to 120 a set, and you've made the highest safety per dollar upgrade on the entire car. Big brake kits exist. Brembo GT StopTech Trophy, $1,200 to $2,500, but they need 17-inch wheels and they're overkill for the street. Catback exhaust rounds out A tier. Modest power, 3 to 7 horsepower tuned, but the K20 loves to rev, and a free-flowing exhaust sounds glorious doing it. Just know that several popular options drone like a swarm of bees between 2,000 and 3,500 RPM on the highway. The NVIDIA Q300 is consistently the least droning. The Skunk 2 Megapower R is louder and meaner, perfect for the track, fatiguing on a road trip. Buy for the sound you can live with because the power is barely there. Quick B-tier run. The factory shifter has a long, vague throw, so a Buddy Club or Skunk 2 short shifter at 150 to 250 cuts at 20 to 40%. Worth it if you live above 6,000 RPM, skippable if you don't. A lightweight flywheel, Act Streetlight or Fidanza drops you from 14 pounds to 8 or 12 and sharpens rev response, but it makes low-speed driving twitchy and stall-prone. If the transmission's out anyway, throw an Exidy Stage 1 or Act Street clutch in there, both fine under 220 horsepower. And strut bars, Skunk 2 front, Cusco rear, won't move lap times much but tighten up steering feel on a chassis that's had 2 decades to flex. Now the avoid list, the F-tier stuff that destroys cars. No-name eBay headers crack their thin-wall primaries under thermal cycling, and there are documented cases on Club RSX of cracked tubes leaking exhaust near the firewall. That's a fire risk. Oversized turbo kits on stock internals? The K20 bottom end is good to about 250 horsepower, full stop. Kits chasing 300 plus on stock rods and pistons are buying you a grenade. Aggressive cams without upgraded valve springs and retainers risk valve float and piston contact. And lowering springs on stock dampers? The damper operates outside its travel range, wears out fast, and rides like garbage. Just buy coilovers. Let's talk wheels and fitment, because this is where money disappears fast. Factory is 17.7 plus 55 on a 5x1, 14.3 pattern with a 64.1 hub bore. On coilovers, an 18.8.5 plus 38 to 45 gives you clean street and show fitment. Go 18 by 9.5 plus 35 and you're rolling fenders. And weight matters more than badge. Factory wheel is 19 to 20 pounds. The NK RPF01 and 18 outing TAF is about 17.5 pounds at 200 to 250 a corner. Best value to weight wheel for a DC5 track build. Here's the part most people get backwards. On a car making under 200 horsepower, your tire is the limiting factor in cornering, not your power. So spend there. Michelin Pilot Sport 4S for street and autocross. Continental Extreme Contact Sport as the value play. And for track days, the Bridgestone RE71 RS or Falcon RT660. Before you buy any of it, check threepiece.us. It's a community-sourced fitment database where DC5 owners log their exact wheel, offset, tire, and coilover combos with photos, so you can confirm a setup actually clears before your card gets charged. So here's the verdict. Your first 3 mods, around $1,500. FlashPro and a real tune, an AEM intake, and Hawk horsepower pads with model fluid. That order is non-negotiable. Got $3 grand? Add coilovers, a Skunk 2 Pro manifold, a DC sports header, and an alignment, and you're at 195 to 205 horsepower that's still daily drivable. If you want a track weapon, go Fortune Auto. Camber plates, the Ultra Manifold, Alpha header, and sticky tires for 205 to 215 horsepower. The car that punishes bad mod order rewards good order more than almost anything in its class. If this helped you avoid a cracked header or a blown motor, hit subscribe. Tell me your DC5 build in the comments.